Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip. Welcome to the Rapid Reaction of WrestleMania 36, Night 2. All in all, this was a fantastic night. It's like the night one. These last two nights, this weekend has just been fantastic. And usually this weekend is fantastic because of the takeover and then the WrestleMania. But this one, there was no takeover, just 2 nights of WrestleMania. And I thought this was just fantastic altogether. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We had a another kickoff match. It was Liv Morgan versus Natalia, and some kind of nice, fun stuff these two women were doing on the kickoff show. Nothing special. Liv Morgan picks up the victory at a roll up and beats Natalia. So yeah, Liv Morgan gets some much needed momentum going into who knows what is going to happen in the future. So, but yeah, Liv Morgan gets the victory. I had it at 2.5 stars. Um, the NXT title was kicked off the main show of night two. So the NXT title was on the line as Rhea Ripley defended against Charlotte Flair. And this was some good, really good stuff here. Charlotte Flair working over the knee. I think one of the things I think that does need to happen more is that they need to focus more on the selling. If they're going to work on a body part, I guess they need to focus more on the selling of that body part. There are things that Rhea Ripley did in this match that she should not been able to have done, and like putting Charlotte on her shoulders and dropping her down, or you know, running. I mean, that's the selling needs to be better if you're gonna do something like that. Um, so and they do this now. What happens is like when they do the thing, they and then they work on a body part. They do the move and then they sell the body part afterward, which is okay. If that's good every now and then, but there also should be like you shouldn't be doing moves that you shouldn't do if the knee is hurt. Or like 'cause I remember, and I go back to the WrestleMania with Charlotte and Asuka. Asuka had worked on her arm. Charlotte did the figure eight on the good arm. She did the figure eight on the good arm and held the bad arm. That's one of the things that makes Charlotte like one of the greats already. And Rhea could be that one, and she'll get better. But I really would like to see Rhea sell the leg better. Um, that being said, the finish was the figure eight. Um, Locked in by Charlotte Flair, and she made Rhea Ripley tap out. Charlotte is the new NXT champion. I had it at 4.25 stars. I thought that was really fun, entertaining match to kick off the show. Um, as for where they go next, I've said this. I said this about a month ago. I said it. I said it in my predictions video this past Friday, and I'll say it here now. I think what they're going to do is they're just going to have Charlotte come out on Monday Night Raw and says, "I'm not going to NXT. I just wanted to prove to the world that I am that I can be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. So here's your NXT Women's Champion. You can do their ladder match and crown a new women's champion. But I am going to be, I am going to stay here on Raw and take on, the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch." And then what they even do is they have Rhea come out and says, "You beat me fair. It's what you did. You were fantastic, and you're just gonna drop it and give it up like it's nothing." So and they can keep their rivalry continued. But I don't know if I would be shocked. It's not because like it's Charlotte. I don't think that Charlotte would be that. I think Charlotte would probably very much welcome a run in NXT because there was rumors late last year that she was frustrated with some of the stuff that's been going on the main roster. So she may welcome a change for a little bit working in NXT. But I think Vince McMahon's not gonna let her go back. I think Vince is not gonna let her go back to NXT. That's what I think. So um thanks, Joe. Nice to see you. So yeah, that's what I think. But we'll just wait and see. Again, with everything that's going on, we don't know what's gonna happen, but we do know that they did tape the Raw after Mania show and some NXT, and I think they did 2 NXT shows. So I'm not sure if they did a SmackDown show. If they did SmackDown after Mania, but all that can be looked upon later. Um, Next was the Aleister Black and Lashley match, and again, I was surprised this match was announced. I was even more surprised that they didn't cancel it because rumors were that Bobby Lashley was over in South Africa, and the CDC and all of the health organizations have said if you were coming in to coming in from out of state, you needed to self isolate, be in quarantine for 2 weeks, and that's why we hadn't seen Drew on the last 2 Monday nights. That's why we didn't see Bobby Lashley either. So I was for some reason I guess I don't know why, but for some reason I knew we were going to get Drew, but I didn't know if we were going to get Bobby Lashley. But I guess you should have realized that if we were going to get Drew McIntyre, we were probably going to get Bobby Lashley as well. So and then we even got Lana. She came out. So we had Bobby Lashley, we had Lana, and everything like that. And I thought this was a pretty good match. I love what these two can give. I think these two every not every match needs to have some type of heat to it. A match can just be a contest, a regular contest. These two are wrestling for a contest. You know, and that's okay. It can still be a good match, and that's what this was. Love the finish too. Bobby Lashley was setting up for the Dominator. Lana said, "No, hit him with the spear," and he said, "Okay, my dear," and he blew a kiss. He set him up for the spear, and out of nowhere, Black Mass. 1, 2, 3. It's a victory for Aleister Black. Good win for him. And then we had the storyline of Bobby Lashley upset at Lana for saying, "I had him, and you told me to do another move, and look what I got. I got beat for it." So that could, obviously, again, well, I won't. I'll try not to keep saying this, but I will just say because of the stuff that's gonna happen, we don't know what's gonna happen. But it looks like at some point down the line, they could be doing a storyline of the Lana and Lashley breakup. This could be just one of the things where maybe Lana, she marries and divorces every man that she gets involved with because they're not treating her right or not listening to her or whatever. Um, so there's that. Then we had Otis and Dolph Ziggler. Oh man, this is probably the sentimental favorite for everybody, right? The big guy, Otis, and then especially after we found out Friday on SmackDown, thanks to whoever that was with the hacker or whatever, we found out that Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler were on. They were in cahoots to try to get Otis and Mandy away from each other, and we found it out, and it was unreal. So the ending of what? The ending of what exactly, Joe? Um, because the ending, if you're talking about the ending of the Otis and Dolph, yes, this was amazing. The ending of Black and Lashley, yes, Otis and Ziggler, yes. Yes, this was really, really good. I think. Well, I had it at 2 and 3/4 stars. So I guess I can't say wrestling wise it was just okay, but as a storyline, it was what you wanted, right? It's what you wanted. You wanted to see the evildoers get coming to them, and you wanted to see, the good guy reign supreme. And that was one of the things that I had kind of thought, because and actually, because I had said that I said in my predictions video. Wow, I get a lot of notifications. But I was saying in my predictions video that you really could see, because of everything that's going on in the world. And I mentioned it again, whatever. But for what is happening right now in our current climate, that there was a possibility that all the faces would go over at WrestleMania, so that we get this feel good, we get this feel good thing, and almost a lot of them did go over. Let's see. If we go back and take a look, right? Go back to night one. Cesaro, bad guy, he won. Sami Zayn won. The Miz won. Um, so that's three. And then tonight we had Charlotte won. Uh, Bailey won, and Bray won. So really, out of a combination of 18 matches, in these two nights, with only six bad guys won. Yeah. So this was obviously a way to make you feel good in many ways in one. And Otis and Ziggler is one of the biggest ways to make it feel good. And then we had Mandy come out, and she beat up on Sonya Deville, and she gave off a low blow, allowed Otis to get the victory, and then they celebrated in the ring, in the ring, and then they Otis picked her up, and then they kissed and everything. Just total amazing. And I advise you also to go to the WrestleMania Twitter account and look at the video that they recorded, and they did. It might even be on the WWE YouTube channel, but um, Caleb Braxton caught up with them too, and it's just really really nice. So I really cannot wait to see where they go with this. And there was a part of me that thought that they really could actually do something where we get a double switch, and Mandy would come out there and beat up on Otis, and be thankful that Sonya and Dolph was looking out for him. But they went the right way, and they let love conquer all. So match was average, two and three quarter stars, but as a storyline and the finish, four and a quarter, 4.5 stars. Just perfection. Um, and then we had the last man standing match, and I think this match is going to be very divisive among the fans. I think so, because um, this match was long, and this match was methodical, and a lot of the fans, especially some of the new age fans, they aren't too fond of long, methodical matches. They don't. That's not something that they necessarily like, and they can necessarily see the greatness in. Um, Me, I'm a little bit older. These are the matches I grew up on watching in professional wrestling. So these are the matches that I cherish, and I can enjoy, and I can see the beauty in, and I saw the beauty in this one. And the story was awesome, and everything they did, the promos they had over these last couple of weeks, that was incredible. And the match they had, I felt, was incredible. Even though it was long, I thought it was incredible. We had some great drama, and some great things, and some great just storytelling. They fought all around the performance center. Um, they ended up on a truck. Excuse me. They ended up on a truck. like in the garage area or something, and it ended up with Edge. Randy Orton brought up two chairs. He was looking for a concerto, but Edge, he got him and he put him on he locked in that that like underarm submission move or whatever, and then he got there and he was crying, and I thought we were gonna get like a Shawn Michaels thing where Shawn Michaels told Ric Flair, "I'm sorry, I love you." I kind of thought we were gonna get something like that from Edge, and we didn't get it before we didn't get it before he swung. He swung and he connected, and Randy Orton got counted out, and Edge won. We kind of got it. We kind of got it. We kind of got it afterwards when Edge got on the knee and he kind of gave Randy Orton the head, put his head toward him as if to say, you know, I still love you, even though you made me do this to you. I still love you. So, it's just some great emotion, great story there. Really good stuff there from Edge and Randy Orton. This was all fantastic. Love the way it started off with Randy Orton being a crew member and all of that stuff was going on. So it's really, really fantastic stuff from these two. Loved it. I gave it 4.25 stars. I thought it was really, really, really fun. Next, we had the Raw Tag Team titles. Um, Originally, this match was supposed to be Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits. Andrade ended up with a broken rear rib, so they replaced him with Austin Theory. Young rookie, he was involved for a few years. Now he's in NXT, and now it looks like he's on the main roster, um, on the Raw roster. So he replaced Andrade in the match. So this was the match. There was a part of me that's thinking that maybe they would kind of, you know, they kind of would put the titles on Garza and Theory, because what they could do is they could create a new tag team between these two, right? They could create a new tag team. New tag teams are always welcome. I think because the more tag teams, the better. And especially even if they maybe what they wanted to do was that could be that tag team could even transfer to NXT. Like if it's for some, I wouldn't do this. I see no reason why Garza and Theory need to be wrestling on NXT anymore. You put them on Raw, and Austin Theory is not on WrestleMania. So why does there's no reason for him to be on NXT? But to just give him the thing, because he's 22 years old, just let him know, hey, even though we've kind of skipped you as NXT, you wrestled on there 3 or 4 times, only 3 or 4 times since you signed your contract. Um, don't let this get to your head, because we can pull that out in a second. But you're gonna stay on Raw, and you're gonna, play your part. But don't get this big head and start, thinking you just big fish, because you're not. Just let him know, but keep him on Raw. At least that's what I would do. As for this match, I think it was standard tag team formula. We got the babyface and Pearl, the hot tag, yada yada yada. Theory and Garza, they looked good all throughout this match. I think the Street Profits gave them some good stuff. We had Montez Ford diving over the match, over the rope, and both Theory and Dawkins caught him this time. caught him this time. Garza went and hit a moonsault on the Street Profits, came in the ring. Um, Theory hit the TKO, but Ford hit the TKO on Dawkins. Ford hit the frog splash on Theory. Dawkins rolled him over to cover the victory. They win. They retain the tag team titles. After the match, Theory and Garza jumped the Street Profits. Uh, Zelina Vega got in the ring and started to beat up on Dawkins. Here comes Bianca Belair, saving her boys. Had a little, the guys chased off the guys, and then Bianca Belair hit the kiss of death on um, on Zelina Vega, and yeah, they ended up standing strong with Bianca Belair on top of the Street Profits. So it looks like you're going to talk about someone who could get called up. And I'm actually surprised she didn't get called up when the Street Profits did, because the WWE have kind of been trying. They really have been trying to make sure that the husband and the wife stays on the same brand. So when the Street Profits got the call up, I was surprised Bianca Belair didn't get the call up right afterwards, but she didn't. And but then that's totally fine. So now we've got, and I think this is the call up. I think she will be with the Street Profits on Raw, and she can be inserted right into the title picture with Becky Lynch, with maybe Jana Baszler, with maybe um, Rhea Ripley if she stays, with maybe even a returning Ronda Rousey, right? So good, good on them. I like seeing that, and as again, I thought it was the match was average, 2 and 3/4 stars. The SmackDown Women's Title match was next. This was the Fatal Five Way. It was an elimination match. The champion Bayley, Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, Naomi, and Tamina. Now, a lot of this was about Sasha and Bayley. This was the big storyline underneath the entire match, and would the friendship get in the way of the championship, right? And you kind of saw what they were gonna do. Um, but I really liked the way they went. Um, so we started off. Let's go from the beginning. We started off all five. Tamina ran rod. She's shown over the last 2 weeks that she was, the balls, the HBIC, right? She was that. She was that, and and then she showed that in this first part of this match. But they finally overwhelmed them. She finally got all four of them decided to finally work together and take her out, and that's what they did. They hit all of like the corner moves, and that's what happened. They hit some moonsaults and some other moves, and they pinned uh, to pin Tamina to get her out first. Um, and then they get rid of Naomi. She went next. So it was 2-on-3, Sasha and Bayley versus Lacey Evans, and they had Lacey Evans Bayley had Lacey in the no. Sasha Banks had Lacey in the corner, and she was telling her to come hit her, and Bayley ran at her, and hit her with a knee. Lacey pulled Sasha in front, so then Bayley hit Sasha, and then afterwards, Sasha came in the ring, asked her what was Bayley doing, and she was trying to tell her no, it was an accident and everything like that. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that on purpose. And then she pushed Sasha out of the way because Lacey was coming, but then she almost in that same breath caught Lacey and turned her around, and then Lacey gave Sasha Banks the women's right, knocked her out. She pinned them. Then it was down to Lacey and Bayley, and they did some good work for the 3 or 4 minutes they had in the ring together. But ultimately, Sasha Banks came back in the ring, gave Lacey Evans the backstabber. Um, Bayley hit that move with the knee in the face or whatever that is. I mean, she's had some of the worst finishing moves. I mean that she can't come up with anything else. I mean the Bailey to belly was ridiculous. That really was. The elbow drop from the top. I was okay with the elbow drop. Although again this is in 1980, and she's not the Macho Man Randy Savage, so wasn't really a big fan of that. But he was better than the belly, the big whatever. And then now this new thing which she has with the face and the foot and drive and I mean, come, she really needs to come up with something else. She really does. And there's so many other moves out there that she can, you know, that she can take and she can take and make it her own. I just don't know. So I mean, you know what would be a good thing? The Cobra Clutch. Okay, I just came up with that one, right? The Cobra Clutch, the $1 Million Dream, whatever you want to call it. Why can't she do that? Why can't she do that as a finishing move? Just something else. Well, yeah, I talked about this in a couple of my videos, a couple of my Back to Shoot videos a while ago, 2 weeks ago, and I talked about that. I talked about how they should book that split. It shouldn't end, in very quickly. It really shouldn't. This should be long drawn. It should be long drawn out until next year's WrestleMania. And I think there was some rumors. There was some rumors out there. I don't know if they were true. They're rumors, but there was some rumors out there that you know there was some talk about them doing it at this year's WrestleMania. However, Bailey and Sasha didn't want to do it because one, it was they wanted it to be special. They wanted to actually be a true story that was told, and two, that they knew if they tried to do it at this year's WrestleMania, that it wouldn't be given the time it needed. You know, it wouldn't have been given. You know, the 20-25 minutes that match would need for both of them. So that they would want to put on the match. So I do hope they wait until WrestleMania. I do hope that they don't have to listen to me, but I do hope that it does end. You know, it does go throughout the year with some distrust between the two, but they end up being together, and then one of them, again, I would prefer Bailey to be that person. One of them would turn on the other, and it would be then um, Bailey and Sasha at WrestleMania. If it's for the title, fine. I don't think it needs to be for the title. It can just be a grudge match. Um, well, I don't know if she needs a rougher move set. I think the move set is pretty fine. For me, it's just the finishing move. I need another finishing move, and then the belly to belly or the elbow drop from the top or whatever thing that she does right now with the leg, the knee into the face and everything. So just mad. I need something different. I really do. But all in all, the SmackDown Women's match I thought was really good. Nice story being told. Bailey retains the championship. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. And this is the match. I'm not even going to call it a match. This is a segment that everybody will be talking about. The Firefly Funhouse. Yeah, this was a trip. Um, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And it starts with John Cena coming out there, and he's like looking around, and he's like, "Welcome to WrestleMania." Then it stops, and it goes into everything, and it goes to the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt goes to a door, and John Cena's there, and then John Cena goes through that door, and then they end up going to like the ruthless aggression stuff, and they're doing the thing with Kurt Angle, and and Kurt Angle with John Cena's debut and everything, and John Cena comes out in his original gear, and, close to it, orange tights and blue stuff and everything like that, and he does the ruthless aggression, and he does that with everything, and he does that and he tries to do Bray Wyatt with it, and then they go to Saturday night's main event, and it's the Muscle Man dance Bray, and he's got John Cena, and he calls John he calls John Cena Johnny Big Meaty Meat, something like that. I don't know. And he's like working out with things and with the rates and everything, and then at one point when he starts talking, he's going like really fast, and I guess he wears his arms out and he can't swing his arms, and then Brace throws him to the next place where now he's the doctor of thugonomics, and he comes up and he does his stick on Bray Wyatt. He gives some good jabs in, and Bray Wyatt, starts talking about him how he's such a bad person or anything like that, and then John Cena goes and tries to chase him, and it doesn't work. And then what they went to what? They went to like WCW and the NWO, and he's Bray Wyatt is Eric Bischoff, and John Cena is now Hollywood Hogan, and uh, and Joe says weirdest match I've ever seen since WLC. I'm gonna say this: it's not a match. To me, that's not a match. That's not anything. That's a segment. That's exactly, it's a segment. It's a WrestleMania segment, not a WrestleMania match. Um, so it's weird, and then they end up where a place where the Fiend gets John Cena, puts him in the mandible claw, and then gets him with Sister Abigail, and then mandible claws him again, and then the Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt counts to 3, and then I guess the Fiend wins the thing, and it's. Let me say this. Now, let me say this. Right, I thought it was. I thought it was really funny. I laughed out loud 2 or 3 times during that. I did. I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting. I would even say that I enjoyed watching that. That being said, that is not something that I think should be on WrestleMania ever, ever. Now, again, I know that we're in a total situation with the climate that we're in and everything, and you know, and they wanted to do something totally different, and I understand, but I think there's a total difference between what we saw with the Undertaker and AJ last night in the Boneyard match, and what we saw tonight at the Firefly Funhouse. I just I just wasn't I that's not something, again, that's not something that needs to be on WrestleMania, in just my opinion. And again, like I said, I don't see that as a match. I see that as more of a segment. So I didn't give it a star rating. I really didn't, because in my opinion, it didn't deserve one. It was just so whatever. But like I admit, I enjoyed it. I even laughed out a couple of times. I just wouldn't want to see it on WrestleMania ever again. If there's I don't need to see a Firefly Funhouse match ever again. I really don't. And hopefully they don't. And I think my fear is that because this is going to be universally loved by most people, that they might do this again, you know, in the near future, in the future when these things happen. But I would be, excuse me, I would be very okay if I never saw anything like that ever again. I apologize for yawning, y'all. I mean, ever since I moved down here to Charlotte, my sleeping patterns have been off. I don't get, the sleep that you need to get. Like, you should normally get at least 7 hours of sleep, and I don't I rarely get 7 hours of sleep. So, but that's neither here nor there. Don't need to hear about my stuff. But if you want to know why I'm yawning if I yawn through this, stuff. That's why. Yes, Charlotte, North Carolina. Absolutely. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I had to move down here this past November because I couldn't get a job, and I had to come down here and stay with my family to try and try to find some work, find some job, go back to school and stuff, and then I can try to get a job and try to go back to Chicago. So um yeah. Okay, so now back to the thing. We only got one match left. It's the WWE title match between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. And just like the Universal title match, this match was a finisher match. It was Claymore, and it was an F5, a couple of German suplexes, F5, 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 Claymore, 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 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion. 1 star. I gotta be honest with you. I am getting tired of these finisher matches. I really am. And I think that if you can't, no, Goldberg is one thing. Goldberg is 53 years old, right? So you can understand why Goldberg would need to do something like that. But I would also say, something like that maybe Goldberg shouldn't be, and again, I understand why they put the title on Goldberg, because it's almost because once again, what the Fiend was, not only was the Fiend not doing anything for the company as champion, but also Goldberg popped some ratings on SmackDown and things like that, and Goldberg versus Reigns, the original match, would have been a more high profile match. So yeah, I totally understand that, but Goldberg should not be in the title picture. Really, he can come back, do his thing. You know, him taking out people like Dolph Ziggler, like Baron Corbin, like even like maybe Sheamus. Him coming back and wrestling and taking out those guys in a 2 or 3 minute match where he hits a spear and a jackhammer and it's over. Those are perfectly acceptable. I think that's perfectly acceptable to do. It's a fun little thing you can like and you enjoy and entertain, but it's over. But I gotta be honest, when it comes to like these championship matches, especially like these main major championship matches, um, you kind of want to you kind of want to almost have a good like a good epic encounter between two wrestlers. You want to kind of have a 15-20 minute match where you see them put it all out on the line and have a great match. And it seems like over the last couple of years, the title matches have devolved into just finisher matches, and they come in and you hit the finisher, hit the finisher, hit the finisher, hit the finisher, and it's I'm kind of getting tired of it. Now Brock Lesnar, it's it's very disappointing when Brock does it, because Brock he can go longer than Bill Goldberg can. He can go 20 minutes. He's proved that against Daniel Bryan. He proved that against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, was it? At SummerSlam? He proved it with Reigns in WrestleMania 31 and at WrestleMania 34. Yeah, and anything like that. And even the match he had with Goldberg at WrestleMania 33, you know, that wasn't that was kind of a finishing match, but that also had other parts to it. The German suplexes, and they were doing spears, through rings, everything like that. So that was high impact, fast part action. but the ones that happened these last two nights was just finisher, 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 finisher. And like you said, tonight they had like two or three German suplexes in between all the finishers. So it's something that I hope that they could get away from, especially with Brock Lesnar, because that's something Brock Lesnar doesn't need to do. Brock Lesnar can go out there for 15, 20 minutes and have a great match with different people. He doesn't need to have a finisher match. He really doesn't. And so, but Drew McIntyre is the champion, and the prophecy finally, 10 years later, the prophecy comes true, the chosen one, and he becomes the WWE champion. And apparently, I don't know how this is because Drew McIntyre is from Scotland, but apparently, because he's somehow the first British, WWE champion. And I don't know how this is. I was listening to Wrestle Talk, and I was listening to Cultaholic before I came on, and their UK-based YouTube channels, and with YouTube with the UK-based and primarily English-based, you know, personalities, and they kept saying he's the first British. I'm trying to figure out if he's from Scotland, how is he British? But whatever. But it's good to see Drew McIntyre with the title. There was just an after-match promo of Bayley having a message for Paige. I didn't watch it, but it might be the start of a new rivalry. Well, listen, there had been rumors, right? There had been rumors that Paige was gonna try to make an in-ring comeback, and she has denied. She has denied them. She has denied them that, and saying that she can't come back. However, if you've watched the WWE 24 Edge, the Second Mountain thing on the WWE Network, if you've watched that, you know that they will kayfabe because Edge kayfabe. Because when Edge came back at SummerSlam and he hit the spear on Elias, excuse me, now I got the hiccups. But when he hit the spear on Elias, immediately there were people saying, "Oh my God, he actually did a wrestling move. He could be making a comeback." And there were rumors out there, and Edge would go on Twitter and he would say, "No, it's not happening. No, it's not happening." But actually, he was setting it up because once he did that spear, and and he felt good about it and everything like that. And it's funny, he goes back, it was supposed to be a promo, but then he gets the spear on Elias, and he goes backstage, and Beth Phoenix is waiting there for him, like, you I thought it was a promo. you you know that is very, very funny. But he says he felt good about it and everything like that. And so he has this thought of, well, what well, no, what happens is AEW. He doesn't mention them by name, but there was a rumor that AEW had contacted Edge, before all of this happened, and he says another organization contacted him about making a comeback, and because they saw what he did on the SummerSlam. So he he talks about you know saying, well, I need to see this folks. So he actually goes and he calls Vince McMahon and says, hey, I need to talk to you in person. This can't be done over the phone or through text messages. He talks on the phone. So I don't know where they meet. I don't know if he goes to Stanford or if Vince comes down to North Carolina where he lives now. But whatever it is, they meet, and he tells them that he got this offer um, from this other company because of what he did at SummerSlam. But if comes back, he wants to come back to WWE. And Vince says, well, hell, we need to do it here. So they send him to the WWE doctors to see if he can make it. And he goes to the doctors, he gets a checkup, and he's cleared to wrestle. They clear him for wrestling. And so so he's cleared to wrestle. And then he meets with the company, and they even say, so what do you want to do? Do you want to, kayfabe this, or do you want to announce it? No, I want to kayfabe this. And then they even show, he talks about how there are no big surprises. Everything that is everything is announced now, and they show pictures of the on Twitter, WWE announcing that so and so is coming back, and that John Morrison has resigned, and this WWE and other things. They make these announcements, and they do that so that they can pop a rating on television or anything like that, so that this can so that that, hey, John Cena's coming back on Friday Night SmackDown. Everybody tune in and watch, so you can pop a rating, right? But he doesn't want that. He wants it to be a surprise. So, and again, they showed the tweets of him saying, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." They even talked about that. There were some online people saying that he went to Pittsburgh to visit the doctors to see if he could get cleared, and he goes on Twitter and says, "No, I didn't, and I never will," or anything like that. So, so he kayfabed it. So going back to the Paige and Bailey thing, Joe. Again, Paige has been saying that she can't wrestle, and she will not. But one, Paige lives in Pittsburgh. It's not like it's not like Edge, who doesn't live in Pittsburgh, and if it's seen in Pittsburgh, it's like, well, you can kind of put two and they can try and put two and two together and say, well, he's going there to see if he can get cleared. She lives in Pittsburgh, so she can go back to the doctor at any time. Be seen around Pittsburgh any time, and she could have been cleared several months ago, and they're just waiting for the right vehicle to do so. And so, it does make sense that why would Paige make the match for WrestleMania? Why would she make the match for WrestleMania? So Paige could also be on her way, and she even said, like, she talked about it on the backstage show, that Edge, uh, Edge, Edge coming back gives her hope, because all she wants to do is wrestle. All she wants to do is wrestle, and she can't do that at this point, or maybe she can now. So listen, it's very likely it's a 50-50 shot with Paige. Is Paige gonna do something with Bailey, or is Paige just they just throwing Paige some love so that Paige missing? Because I think the one thing Paige said is that Paige loved doing the whole SmackDown general manager thing. She loved that. And when the McMahon said that there was going to be no more there gonna be no more authority figures, and then they took Paige away, she kind of left her with nothing to do. So it could be interesting. So we'll all have to wait and see. But that's something maybe I might even go back and check out and see what the Bailey promo is that she cut for Paige. So, but yeah, I would not be surprised. So yeah, let me take a look here real quick at my predictions, the predictions I had left. Who did I get right? I had Drew McIntyre winning the title. Yes, I had Edge winning the last man standing match. I had the Fiend Bray Wyatt, but I'm not gonna give myself that. That's just gonna be a blank space. I had Charlotte winning the NXT title. I had Bayley winning the SmackDown title. I had the Street Profits retaining. I had Otis winning, and this was I first said Dolph Ziggler was gonna win. Then I changed my mind to Otis. Did that, and then I had Aleister Black winning, and then I also had Natalya winning the kickoff match. So basically, I went perfect tonight. When I went perfect, I went a perfect 8-0 tonight. Wow. Last day I went 4-3. Night one I went 4-3. Tonight I went 8-0. That's a 12-3 record of being predictions. So let's see. Let's now add that to the Add that to the thing. WrestleMania night 2. So let's see now. 6, 5 is 11, plus 6 is 17, plus another 6, 23, plus 4 is 27, and then plus 8 is 35. So I'm 35 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 35 and 8. So I went 6-2 at the Royal Rumble, went 5-1 at NXT Takeover Portland, 6-1 at WWE Super Showdown, 6-1 at Elimination Chamber, 4-3 last night, and 8-0 tonight. 35 and 8 so far on the year of my predictions. That is really, really good. It really, really is. So I'm doing really, really fine this year when it comes to predicting all of the match cards and things like that. And to be honest, again, and this could, that record could stay that way because, obviously now we don't know what's going to happen now. Now that you've done WrestleMania and everything like that, we don't know what else they could be doing. They ran a promo for Money in the Bank for Monday, May 10th, but I heard something about Money in the Bank actually being canceled. And we just don't know what's gonna happen. So um yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting, I think, what goes down over the next time. But anyway, it goes tonight. Last night was epic. I think when you combine the two, this was one of the great WrestleManias, that we've ever had. We had some really great matches. We had the SmackDown tag match last night. Then we had the Owens Seth Rollins match last night. Tonight we had the NXT title match. We had the Last Man Standing match with the SmackDown Women's title match. Last night we had the Raw Women's title match. So we really had some really, really good stuff, and and nothing was really terrible. From the two nights, my lowest rating, the Universal title match and the WWE title match, they have my lowest rating at 1 star. But you know, after that, before that, the next lowest rating is a 2.25 star match, the IC title match between Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. Otherwise, everything else was average or better. So, and a lot of people were talking about that they said they should cancel this and that, this need to be postponed, do it in front, do it in front of the crowd. And there's still going to be some people who say that. There's still going to be some people who say that, these 2 nights were not good. They didn't give you it wasn't entertaining. They couldn't get into it, yada, yada, yada. But I think the majority of us would say that these 2 nights were, were great. Good wrestling, for the most part, very good stories to tell, some endings of some, rivalries, and maybe only 1 or 2 questionable booking decisions. Becky Lynch going over Shayna Baszler, and maybe possibly. Um, well, actually, I think that's probably the thing about it. Well, some people will question Charlotte going over Rhea Ripley, but I kind of think that if you didn't see that coming, really, if you really did not see that coming, you know, then where have you been the past 3 years, right? That should have been something you should have maybe wanted Rhea to win, but you should have saw you should have been knowing that there's a good possibility that Charlotte is going to win this, win this match. So, but yeah, this great 2 nights, and this is what we needed, to take our minds off of what is going on out there. With no other sports, if you're like me and you are other sports fan, and there's no basketball, there's tomorrow would have been the finals of the NCAA tournament, but that's been fully canceled. There's no NBA. The playoffs would have been starting in a couple weeks. No NBA. Not a hockey fan, but there's no NHL. I'm okay with baseball. There's no baseball happening. There's nothing. So why not there be WWE? Why not there be AEW? Why not there be NXT? Right? But now, with everything that's going on, we'll see what happens. Because there is talk about there'll be a hiatus for WWE over the next few weeks. To see if we can get to April. Because Florida has a lockdown to April 30th, and then they'll reconvene and see if they need to go another month, or if their shelter in place, their lockdown will be lifted. Um, so we'll have to wait and see what's next. But for right now, I know we're gonna get Raw and NXT. I'm not sure about SmackDown, so I'm gonna enjoy these next two nights. This tomorrow night and then Wednesday of wrestling, and we'll see where it goes from here. But for whatever it is, I got to say thank you to the WWE and thank you to the superstars who decided to perform and put on a show, and thank you to those who didn't perform. Roman Reigns, and I understand why you didn't, and so for me, it's all about your health, and I understand. I understand about other people. I understand that Dana Brooke and Rey Mysterio. I don't know if they decided to self-isolate or if they got sick or something like that, but they were quarantined. And Buddy Murphy, I believe, was quarantined. And then the Miz got sick, and I there's no ill will, and I hope there's no heat on the Miz from the guys in the locker room, and I hope there's no heat on the Miz from the creative or in the big guys and Vince or Triple H, because he wanted to perform. He wants to be the man in WWE. He wants to be the man so bad that he came to work sick in a pandemic. So I have no qualms with him. I have no qualms with anybody. So just was fun all the way around, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I really hope you can too. So yeah, um, as for what's going on, I don't think I'm going to do That to Shoot this coming weekend, this Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. And we'll have to see what happens in the future. I don't know if I'm going to do That to Shoot this weekend, and who knows the next time I will do That to Shoot because of the stuff that's going on right now. But that being said, I'm still going to try to do other videos. I'm still going to do if there's any other breaking news when this comes when anything happens in the world of WWE. When things happen, I will do news. There is some breaking news out of England. The Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he was tested he was tested positive for the coronavirus 10 days ago, and he was hospitalized earlier. So thoughts to the uh, British Prime Minister. Hope you get better. And yeah, so everybody out there, please stay safe and do what we need to do to try to get this thing, down. Shelter in place. You need to go out. They're saying that if you need to go out, you need to go out with a mask, whether it's an actual mask or something that you made up. They're even saying that you can take a bandana and like tie it around your face, or come up with some other contraption. Maybe even use a mask or something. So I will just have to wait and see. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. As long as I can, as long as I am willing and able, I will be doing rapid reactions after pay-per-view. So again, if something happens and we get Money in the Bank on May 10th, you better believe that on May 10th, after Money in the Bank goes off, I will be right here doing the rapid reaction on that. So yeah. Besides that, I'm gonna be doing other videos as well, doing some reaction videos and some try not to laughs and a whole lot of other things. I'm gonna try to do a top 10 list of my favorite Law and Order SVU episodes. So uh yeah, I'm trying to do other stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to school. That's taking up a lot of my time as well. So I can't do as many videos as I've done like in the past. Like in the past years, if you go back and you see me do a video like almost every day, every day, but and that's not the way it is right now. But I hope to get back to doing that one as soon. So yeah. Yeah, thanks for everybody who did stop by. I think there were 2 or 3 other people who stopped by who didn't say anything. I saw them at the beginning. Definitely thank Joe for once again stopping by. And for those who are watching this late at a later time, thank you for stopping by and watching this. Hope you had fun. Hope you are staying safe. Post any comments you have down below. Let me know what what you guys think. Make sure you go to patreon.com/AJTrip to become a Patreon. 3 tiers. Once I get to 100 Patreons, I will leave my content creation open for you to choose what I can do on this channel, on what I talk about on my podcast, or what video games I play on my Twitch. So make sure you go there to patreon.com/AJTrip and become a Patreon. That is it, everybody. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Please be careful out there. And I am out.